In this case study, we're going to be talking with Sophie O'Neill, who runs Tamworth Remedial Massage. Now, what I want you to be listening for is specifically the three things that she did, the way that she implemented the three amazing M's. We know that in every business we've ever worked with, whether it's in Australia, Canada, UK, and New Zealand, there are three essential ingredients to every successful business, and they are mindset, marketing, and mechanics. We call these the three amazing M's, and it's what we wrote about in our book, Fully Booked Without Burnout. So what I want you to be listening for is where Sophie was before she started working with us and what she implemented along the way. Some of it she knew, some of which she knew that there were things that she needed to do. There are other things that she implemented that she had no idea that she needed to be thinking like and doing and actioning, and she figured out a way of getting it through. Sophie's been working with us for 12 months now, and I'm really excited to share her story with you, and I want you to listen in for the three amazing M's so you can hear how she implemented amazing mindset, how she was able to put great marketing in place, and also be able to have the systems and structure that actually set her business up for success.
It's been just life-changing for me. I don't think I don't think I could have survived much longer in business doing it all on my own. And yeah, just knowing there's always someone there. Yeah, it's just the best thing I've ever done. Really, the best thing for my business. It's been the best thing. It's for everything, because it's sorted me out. It's helped me so I can go home and be a better wife and mother. And yeah, it's really, really changed me.
Hey there, Sophie. How you going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Really excited to be able to chat with Sophie O'Neill today from Tamworth Remedial Massage. Sophie, do you want to share a little bit about your business, how long you've been operating, and a little bit about what it is you guys actually offer at your clinic?
Yeah. Okay. So I've been I'm in Tamworth in New South Wales, and I currently have a team of 8 massage therapists, and we have a full-time receptionist. The business has been going for, well, I first moved back to Tamworth 12 years ago, so I started then, but I've been employing people for more like 8 or 9 years.
Who is it you guys help? Do you want to share a little bit about that?
So because there's quite a few of us here. There's a lot that we do. So mostly remedial massage, but a couple of us specialise in oncology and lymphatic drainage. And then we do sports, pregnancy massage, hot stones, cupping. Yeah, depending on
all the good things. That's awesome. Yeah. That's fantastic. So now Tamworth is obviously, it's regional or rural New South Wales, which is pretty cool. And the fact that you've got such a large and established clinic is pretty amazing, that you can attract that many clients in. On average, how many clients would you guys see a week, do you think?
Well, we fill 4 rooms all for the whole week. We open only half a day Saturday, but so whatever that works out to be.
Fantastic.
I see a week.
It's amazing. Rock on. That's great. That's really, really cool. So I want to have a bit of a chat about our journey. So we've been working together for the last 12 months. And I remember some of our earlier conversations when you were like, I know I need coaching, but I haven't ever found the right person. And I want to kind of talk through some of the challenges that you were having and experiencing in the business. And I also want to kind of talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you were facing as a leader as well, because I know that where you were at is really common for a lot of people who have a clinic where they've got, a great team maybe, or they've got a team, and it's kind of like, it's almost like accidental success. Like I just kind of grew it. It just sort of happened. And all of a sudden I've got all this stuff going on, and now I don't really know how to navigate and actually get it to where I want to go. So do you want to maybe share where you were at 12 months ago in terms of what some of the challenges you were facing in business?
Yeah, I was not in a good place 12 months ago. 12 months ago, I was really ready to throw it all in, but not wanting to, having worked so hard on it for so long. And I knew all the things that I had to do. I knew I needed more structure in my business. I knew I needed to be clear in what I wanted, and to be able to communicate that with the staff. But it was just all overwhelming, not having all the systems in place. The job just seemed too big for me, and I needed help navigating through that and working out my priorities and everything. So so that's where I was at 12 months ago. I knew I'd been looking for a business coach, and I have mentors that have talked about business coaches before, and it was something that I had been looking for a number of years, but I didn't know there was anything industry specific, and that was the problem. Every time someone was recommended or I looked into it, they didn't understand me or my business. I feel like we're in such a different business. And I just didn't click with anybody until I met you.
Woohoo! That's really cool. And it's, I think that's really common, that when you look at the task ahead and it's like, I can either, that's it, tap out, or move forward, but I'm not quite sure how to move forward. And being able to speak to someone who's already navigated that before, so they have that same experience. And I agree, like I've had mentors in the past who are amazing business coaches, but had more worked in the corporate world. So when it came to how do I run a massage clinic, especially for us, a regional one, there were some gaps because she'd never done that before. And so being able to be industry specific is really powerful. And it helps navigate some of the more industry specific questions that come up when you're running a team and employment and all that kind of stuff. So awesome. All right. So let's talk about the first couple of months in the program. What was some of your big kind of aha moments before we kind of get into some of the big breakthrough moments later on down the track? But what were some of the first sort of things that you started to implement, do you reckon, in the first sort of few months? I think one of them might have been videos, because that was a bit of a challenge at the start.
Yeah. I didn't love the whole social media side of it. I had a social media presence, but wasn't a big part. And I was least worried about marketing. We already had a really thriving business, and I wasn't worried about that side of it. But yeah, no, and I certainly was not comfortable with doing videos and putting stuff out there all the time, which has changed a little bit. Still got to work on that. But I think the biggest thing to start with was working on me and my mindset. That was just the number one thing I noticed. Getting that in check. And that was just vital to then be able to move on and get other things done.
And so is there anything specific when you talk about mindset? Was there anything particularly that you kind of shifted or changed in your beliefs?
So much. I felt when I could let things go, I realized how I'd been in the past was I describe it as I just felt bogged down in so many things that were going on around me that were out of my control, and I couldn't do anything about. And I let those things really bog me down and hold me back. I wasn't able to get the simplest of tasks done because I just was so weighed down with everybody else's problems and and taking things so personally.
And when the shift happened, when you were like, instead of trying to control everyone else's situations, I'm just going to look at controlling me and managing my state, what shifted? How much influence were you able to have in your clinic when you made that shift?
So much more, and it was instant, and people were noticing really like weeks in to the program, like first couple of weeks in, people here noticed that I was different and that I was in a better frame of mind and I was more positive and more focused on the business. But I got comments from everyone in my life noticed. Yeah.
The shift and changes, which is why we talk about mindset, because so often it sounds a little bit woo-woo, like I just need clients, or I just need structure, and it's like, yes, but if you don't work on mindset first, or when you work on mindset first, everything shifts. You can then start to do all the other bits and pieces because you realize, right, you know what, I'm good to go. I've got this. I'm empowered to be able to make great decisions in my business and take my business forward, which is why we talk about the 3 amazing M's. We always talk about mindset as the first thing that you have to get right. So that's fantastic. That's huge.
I think having a bit of accountability too, and because anything bad that had happened, and with staff that had left in a really bad way, taking things so personally, and when I'd let those things affect me for far too long. Like, how can that person do this to me? But then just taking some accountability and saying, well, I never made it clear what it is that we are all about and what I expect. And taking a bit of that on could let me let go of that a bit quicker as well.
And that leads beautifully into the mechanics side of things, because because you're right, you already had enough clients coming in that wasn't a huge gap in your business. There was more working on your mindset so that you weren't bogged down by stuff, to be empowered to lead your team really, really well, and then be able to have the clarity that you needed to be able to implement some systems and some structure. So let's talk through that process, because it was like moving into getting your mission, vision, and values, languaging that is actually languaging your values, and basically saying, this is how those people, didn't actually live up to those values. And this is what I expect my team to now do. And this is how we go about it. So do you want to maybe talk through that process? Because it was quite challenging for you to be able to language it.
Yeah, it was really challenging for me. I struggle with languaging everything. And we had a really good session. You worked on me a lot with that, and with bringing up the feelings behind of how I felt about what I do and how I service the community and how all that started, and bringing all those feelings up then, and made it, all the words come out and fall into place eventually. And I'm like, oh, that's it. That's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I'm all about. But I don't know if I would have got that on my own.
Yeah.
Or maybe I wouldn't have tried.
Well, exactly. So let's talk about what that then, because it's great to talk about big picture. Okay, we've got our mission, vision, and values, which is how it's kind of like it sets the environment or the ground rules for how people behave and operate at Tamworth Remedial Massage, and what outcomes your clients get to expect. So that's what having a really clear, written down, vision actually means. Do you want to talk through how you implemented that? Because then the next step is going, cool, I've created this great thing, but now I've got to get my team on board. Yeah. And so do you want to talk through how you and your fabulous Janet, I always call her Janet because Jackie, that's right. But I always had a Janet. So we have this joke. It's like Janet and Jackie. Everyone needs a Jackie. How did you guys actually implement and introduce this to your team to get them on board with it?
Yeah. So I was really excited about it, but I was really nervous about holding a staff meeting and bringing it up, because some of these girls have been here a really long time, and I didn't want them to just think, oh, it's just something Sophie's going on about this month and we don't really need to worry about that. She'll be over that next month. And I wanted them to get on board and excited about it. So we had an idea that we would, we did a little award ceremony at our staff meeting, and the values that I had listed as being the values for our business. I had picked a value for each staff member, something that I saw in everybody at work, something that they really rocked at, and gave them an award for that. So we had a little ceremony. We had music and we gave out certificates and said, you really rocked at this and why. Said, you do this and I really value that, and then told the rest of the team why it is that was important and how they did it. So we really got everyone on board already to show them that, because we have the perfect team now. Yeah. And it was before I joined the coaching program, I'd already been through that. We'd weeded out, we'd kind of been through that process. So the people that didn't fit, we'd let them go. And I feel like now we have the perfect team, and I wanted them to see that, I'm putting this all down in writing now, but we have this and you're all showing it, and I appreciate it now. But moving forward, we needed that structure then, so we're attracting the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a beautiful thing that you're actually empowering your team by showing them evidence of success. So it's not just like, oh yeah, here's this thing written on the wall, like heaps of companies have their values written down, but it's like, it means nothing. Whereas when you say to someone, this is actually how you live this out, everyone else who's watching is going, oh, that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that makes so much sense, because you've explained why it's such an important value, and what it is you need to do to be able to live it out. And that is just such a powerful tool.
It was such a good lead-in to explaining it all, because there's some things that not everybody can be all the time too. And I didn't want them to feel like, oh, well, you're not that now, so you don't fit. But like because we're being so community minded and having in there that we all give to our community. We all give in return to what we get. Well, not everyone can do that now. If someone's got a new baby, they're not out there and actively doing that. But we got to talk about all of that, and that this is important to us and as a whole. But I don't expect that everyone can do that all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just so things like that could be explained really well, and they got it, they knew what it meant, and then I could ask them what does it mean to you, and things that I hadn't thought of. I'm like, yeah, cool, it totally means that. We can write that down as well. Really involve them.
Getting that buy-in from your team to be like, this is why we work here. We love this. And now we've got some really, really amazing guidelines and goalposts of this is actually where the business is going. This is how we get there. And this is the part that I need to play, which is enormous clarity for anybody working in your organization to be able to go, cool, I know what's expected of me every day when I come to work, and I leave my stuff at the door and I come to work and I serve my clients, and this is how we're going to go about it. It's phenomenal. It's really, really cool. All right, so let's have a chat about, once you implemented your mission, vision, and values, you implemented some KPIs or key performance indicators. Do you want to talk through how you did that with your staff?
Yeah, so I was really stuck on that for a while, because the one-on-one meetings, I feel like that's just too scary for people. I know I would hate that, and I had a couple of people I knew, like if they saw in the diary that they have a meeting coming up with Sophie, they might be, what have I done wrong? And I didn't want that anxiety and stress around it. We'd already created such a positive vibe around the mission, the vision, the values. So I didn't want that to be a stressful experience for anyone. And it's so time consuming. So I modeled a bit of a system, like from the coaching program, where when they fill out their timesheet, there's some questions in there about like we put in their like their percentages of their rebooking rate, and certain things in there that's then compared to the week before, so that they can see it and I can see it, and then asking questions about how do you think your week went? What's the best thing that happened this week? And then, was there anything you're having trouble with that you want to talk about? And so it's putting it in the ball in their court. They can write down anything that they want to talk to me about, and then we'll make the time to talk about that. And they're aware of it. It's not like we're waiting and having a meeting once a month or once every 3 months. They know if their rates are dropping or what's happening. So it's not a surprise. Like if I just felt like if I had a meeting with someone and said, oh, well, for the last month, your rebooking rates dropped and what's going on? They'd be like, well, why are you talking to me about that now? What can I do about, like, I could have done something about it a month ago. And I just thought that would be a better way of being on top of it, making everyone aware, and then only having to have those meetings if there was something that they were concerned about. Or I was concerned about.
So it was like with the mission, vision, and values, then you're setting the intention and the standard by saying, so part of the way that we live out some of these values is that we make sure that we're rocking out, doing great treatments. We're rebooking the clients that need it. We're making sure we're actively asking for that. And because you're a maintenance clinic, so you get people when they've injured themselves, and then you maintain their level of awesomeness. And so that the staff are really aware of that. And then you give them, literally like what you were saying, the accountability to say, well, how are you performing? How are you actually doing as a team member here? And we know our rules of how to play, and now we're going to weekly check in on that. It's really, really powerful, because you get that immediate feedback. The more immediate feedback is, the easier people can change and take it on board, which obviously, again, is also part of your values, that you want people to be able to take on board feedback and adjust as necessary, and then keep rocking out, because the purpose is not to be having one-on-one meetings all the time. The purpose is for them to be able to be living out your mission, which is seeing clients and doing their awesome stuff. So I think that's really, really powerful, and such a great step for anyone listening with a team to go, you know what, you've got to set the standard, you've got to set the environment, set the standard, and then you've got to be able to give them feedback to be able to make that happen really, really quickly. So rock on. That's really cool.
We have our regular staff meetings where we all check in, but I know what we need to talk about at staff meetings from the feedback I'm getting through them regularly, and I know what training needs to be provided, because they've let me know. And so I didn't realise that people, because it was never a problem to me, I didn't realise people had a thing around rebooking. And when I investigated that and talked to the staff about that, and there was only a couple of them, but the rebooking wasn't about the clients at all. It was about how they felt. Like, I don't think I could afford a massage, on a regular basis. How can I tell my client to come? I'm like, that's not about the client, that's about you. And that the client's here for your recommendation on what you think that they need. And if they can't afford it, they won't come, or we can work something else around that's more affordable for them. But you not telling them is not helping them. And if they could walk away from here and say that they didn't care about me, they didn't tell me to come back in, that client could just leave feeling like you didn't want them and go to somebody else for regular appointments, or just because you think that they might not be able to afford it.
Yeah.
So I kept seeing things like that. There were a few different things. That's just one example, but the few things that the few problems staff had around rebooking clients were nothing to do with the clients. It was all to do with them.
And was when you reframed it to be about the client, did that shift things for them?
Yeah, yes, it did, and and it improved it instantly. Yeah.
That's huge. That's awesome. Well done. So let's talk about, there was a point towards the end of last year where you said to me, Leash, I've discovered this amazing location. I've decided that I'm going to lease it, and we're going to kind of have a bit of a pivot. I've been looking at this for a while, but basically I'm just going to totally rock out in running my whole brand new clinic that has heaps of different rooms, etc. Kind of talk through the process of that and what it's like now on the flip side, because that brought up a new set of challenges that you probably hadn't experienced in a little while. And you want to maybe talk
on my quarterly planner.
Yeah.
I had decided for a while that I needed to be able to buy my own location for work. I just felt like it's just not going to be sustainable long term, paying the amount of rent that I was, and where I was so small, and we were so crammed in there for so long. I really wasn't happy there. So I knew we needed to move, but I didn't want to move until I could secure somewhere that I could buy. How about leasing it to me for 12 months and then I'll buy it? And so she was all for that, and we moved. Yeah. And it was a bit scary. We moved to a different area of town, which it wasn't so much that worried me. I think we can be anywhere really, and everywhere in town was only 10 minutes away. Yeah. Anyway, I think we're probably 6 minutes from our old location. It's not a big deal. Yeah. And it's actually, all our clients have commented it's better for parking, it's more relaxing, and we've just got so much space. We love it. It's great for us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really, really cool. And so let's talk through then. So for the last few months, there's been a lot of implementation of the mission, vision and values, getting the team on board. And you've also been setting up some really strategic systemization throughout the business and getting some structure. What has that allowed you to be able to do? What's been sort of the upshot of that, or what have you implemented maybe?
There's so many things. Well, we've implemented things like stock control, which we weren't doing a fabulous job of before. It makes it a lot easier when we're when I know how much of everything's been taken. I know what I'm using now. I really had no idea what we're using and how often we're ordering. I'll just someone say we're running out of oil, and I'd get more. But so we've got systems in place now that control all of that, and we know what we're using and how often, so we can just be a bit more organised. It just isn't always last minute stress.
So you guys have a team meeting
now.
We implemented, when I had a conversation, I actually got to meet Sophie and go to the room that she's in now when we were on the book launch tour, which was awesome fun. And I said to Sophie, okay, you need to have a meeting with Jackie once a week. And I could see the look that was going, yeah, I'll do that one day. And I said, because, part of my job is knowing my clients well. I said, cool. So every time you don't meet with her on a Monday morning, you have to pay her $100. And I told Jackie, and it was like, oh, that's nasty. And I'm like, because you needed the accountability to start. And even if you don't have that every week now, I know what it actually allowed so much more momentum to happen between you guys, because often your admin person is almost like the gatekeeper between your big picture ideas and the implementation that happens between you and the staff that also work there. So being able to connect with them on a regular basis is really vital. What have you noticed as the upshot of that now that you've been doing it consistently for a couple of months?
Yeah, well, Jackie's so fabulous. It does so many things. But the problem before we were having regular meetings was that I would I'm pretty organised now because I have my list, I have my steps to success every week, and then whatever Jackie needs to know in there, because I offload so much stuff to her. She gets that at the beginning of the week too. So, but what was happening was that I'd give her a whole stack of stuff, and then I wouldn't necessarily get the update of where she's at with all of those things as well. And usually, I mean, they're all just tick, 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 tick. But they were still in my head until I knew they were done. Yeah. And then I couldn't tick them off my list until I knew they were done. And sometimes I needed to do something, a component of it. So now that when we can catch up, there's not me just overthinking the same thing all the time and leaving notes for Jackie at the end of the day after she's already gone and I finish with my last client. I'm like, did you do this, 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 and this, this, and this?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just communication's just a bit better and less stuff that I have to worry about swirling around in my head.
Yeah, and it sounds like instead of having that reactionary of, I need oil and this and this and this and this, it actually sounds like you're able to forward plan more and go, cool, I'll talk to Jackie on Monday about this, this and this and this. Yeah. But right now I can literally just focus on my list, and then ultimately, your family and just get the stuff done that you need to do rather than, which again helps you be able to influence more because you're controlling and managing your state, which is really powerful. Yeah. That's, really cool.
And only more recently I've become a bit better with working out what's too much and what can go on to next week. Because when I have things I want to do, I want them done now. And I have this habit of going into my list and just adding things and my list can get really out of control. But now I'll say to Jackie, well, I've got this, this and this on my radar, but we can put that onto next week's list. And nice. So, yeah, I am starting to be able to learn to space things out and, pick what needs doing first and save the rest later.
That's
putting
amazing.
More into chunk size.
It's good. It's so good because we do have steps to success every week, which comes from people's quarterly plan that James and I help them work out, either face-to-face, like at our, over Skype, over a session like this, or at our quarterly retreats. But often, and some people will do like 4 steps for the week or 5 steps for the week. Sophie's list is minimum 20. I've seen close to 30.
I went over 30 last week.
And the cool thing about Sophie is that she actually gets that stuff done. Like,
it's on the list.
Every single week. It is very rare that Sophie's like, just didn't get through it this week. And I just have a standard rule now that if she gets over 20 done, you tick, you're done. You winner. It's all good. We just
got till May that now then.
Yeah, I will. I think we do, which is amazing. And everybody is different. Some people like shorter lists. Some people like, I'm just going to put every damn thing on it. And even that, I know at the start you were writing a big long list, but none of it was actually moving the business forward. They weren't really on the business tasks. It was just a really busy task list. And so when we caught up and you were like, I haven't even looked at my plan. And I'm like, well, that's where your list should come from. And it was like, oh, okay. So and it didn't mean that your list got any longer. It just meant that we put the really important business tasks first that come off your plan, because they are the tasks that will actually take the business forward, not just working to do the day-to-day stuff. And you can add as much day-to-day stuff as you like, but you've got to work on the business tasks and part of the planner as well.
I've discovered I'm a real list person. I need everything that needs doing on that list. And and then I do usually get it done.
Yeah, which is amazing.
But
it's amazing.
On the list.
Yeah, you do get a lot of stuff done. So let's talk through. So, like I said, one of the things that we do every quarter is retreat. Your first retreat was that. Where was that?
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. Awesome.
Recently, it was my first one.
And so, do you want to talk through your experience of retreat?
Oh, I loved retreat, and I'm kicking myself. I hadn't been to any of the retreats before, but they just were all bad timing for me, and I really couldn't get to the ones earlier. But Gold Coast retreat is amazing. I just connecting with all the other people in the program, as well as with you and James face to face. It's just, it's the best thing I've ever done, and not even just for the business, but for me too. And because I don't get away a lot. I don't go on annual girls' weekends away or anything. And for me, that was enough for me. That felt like I had that break from doing the family, and I could spend time on myself. And it was amazing. It was really good.
What were some of your big takeaways?
Oh, there were lots of takeaways. I really loved. I loved seeing Zach. I'd done a session with Zach prior via FaceTime, but doing his session was really good. I learnt lots. There were lots of little bits in there. I learnt about marketing from James, which was fantastic. But the biggest thing really was the connecting with everybody and everyone else's stories and all those people out there like me. Like I've never known anybody else like me before, and now I have a handful of people that, you know, have the same issues, the same struggles. Just being able to talk to those people, it's really incredible. I've only just met them at retreat a couple of months ago, and some of those girls there I know I'll be in contact with forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And those kind of connections are phenomenal, because you realize that, you're not alone, that there are other people out there that are, and other people out there, I think, that are driven, that are business minded, that love their family, and do struggle sometimes with the dance between family and business, because actually there are times when they actually enjoy business more. And how do you do that from a heart-centered space and be able to play full out in your family as mum and wife, etc., and dance with excellence in your business, and really meet people who are just like, you know what, I'm here, I'm really passionate about the people that I treat, and I actually want to be successful. I'm not here to play a small game. I want to be successful, and to be in a room full of other therapists who also want that outcome is so incredibly empowering, because they're like, what do I need to get clarity so that I can make that happen more in my business? And that's what retreat's all about.
I didn't really realise I was missing that. I didn't have people in my life. Like, I have a really supportive family, but it's just not the same. And I didn't have friends that I could talk to about business stuff. It's been just life-changing for me. I don't think I could have survived much longer in business doing it all on my own. It's all great. The weekly catch-ups, James's mindset and mechanics, and it's just this constant. You're always there. There's always something happening that you can tune into and take something away from. And just knowing there's always someone there. Well, and you'll message and say, I haven't heard from you.
How you doing?
Can I help you with anything? And I was really desperate. I was really desperate for help. I was in a place where I knew I needed help. I knew there were things that I just found so overwhelming, that I knew I needed help to get on track.
And if someone was listening to this and they were maybe a little bit further behind where you are right now, what would be the number one piece of advice that you'd want to give them to be able to help them in their business?
Join a coaching program. Join this coaching program if you're a massage therapist. It's just the best thing I've ever done. Really, the best thing for my business. It's been the best thing. It's for everything, because it's sorted me out. It's helped me so I can go home and be a better wife and mother. And it's really, really changed me. We're
going to finish up there. Thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing to be able to walk through the clarity that you've now got in your business, the passion that you're able to really rock out in across all areas of your life, and really hear that empowerment that's come through by implementing the things over the last 12 months. So thank you so much for your time, Sophie. It's been great.